Hi Grant, thought I'm going to take another try at making a video of this hammer. I need to practice anyway. So basically this is, like I was saying, a treadle hammer that's been converted to air. So what it sort of consists of here is a couple of leaf springs that are welded to hinges, and here's the head. The head is hollow inside, and it's full of, partially full of lead, which you can fill more or take some out depending on how you want to use the hammer. It's a big hassle, but I found that this is about the correct weight for whatever I'm doing. And it's all this is hinged on this big bracket here that holds these two whisker switches, micro switches, that control the up and down feed of the head. All this stuff here in this big bracket, it all slides up and down in order to adjust the height of the head in relation to so that you can line up the top die with the bottom die. All that is driven through this turnbuckle here that goes down to this treadle that my foot's sitting on, and there's also a hydraulic cylinder or an air cylinder hooked to the treadle, and this is a 5-way valve that's been hooked up in reverse so that the intake is actually the exhaust, which goes down to this foot treadle. The foot treadle basically a ball valve that I've made into a foot treadle, so it's just a matter of running your foot in there and operating it that way, so you can throttle the stroke of it and the speed of the hammer with this foot treadle. You got some really good control of this thing. Over on this side, I got a spare propane tank as an extra reservoir for air, because I run a fairly small compressor with this. It's only 3 horsepower, and there's two regulators. One powers it up, the other one powers it down. This one powers it up. You need to have different pressures for going up and down. If you use the same pressure for going up as you did going down, this thing would turn over on its back. The whole thing's mounted, so this is a 6-inch solid shaft for the anvil, and all this is all mounted on a 2-inch thick rubber pad. Here, you can see it's chained back to the wall so it doesn't walk around. But basically that's what it consists of. Right now the head is tied up, safety position, so that I can this bar here is holding the head up right now, and that's so you would use that so that you can drive out the wedge and change the top die and lift out your bottom die and change it out. It's probably not safe to do that while it's actually hooked up and air powered and all that stuff. Anyway, I got a lot of dies that go with this thing. I'll show you over here. So there's a copper plate that you use to where to go. A copper plate that you can use to use a butcher or cut pieces off under the hammer with. You won't wreck your cutting tool. You'll just deface it. Deface the copper plate. I'm going to take this extra lens off here. Okay, now I get up closer. So. Now these are just sizing dies, so that one's 3/4, that one looks like it's 3/8, so that when you run something through the hammer, you want a certain size, it'll just come out that size. There's a round hollow die there. Got 3 V blocks, 4 V blocks here. There's a set of pretty aggressive half and half dies. There's a real decent aggressive set of drawing dies. This pair here is for making logging tongs, for turning the pointy end inwards. These guys here, they're to neck down round bar, so you can go progressively smaller and smaller as you run them through the die there. Let's see, that's just a pair of flat dies there. This set of dies here is for sharpening jackhammer bits. This is a bridge, so the bridge sits in here like so. It's got a V-block in it, and then this bit sits in there, so you can use it without that bit and straighten stuff in the hammer, or you can use this like if you got a fork shaped piece it's got to go underneath it. You can work on one side of it. Yeah, you work on one side of it here while the other side's poking through the bottom. This is a set of drawing dies I made out of a jackhammer or sledgehammer, obviously. I'm not even sure. I don't remember making this, so can't remember why I made it, but I did. This I'll show you how to use later. There's a set of texturing dies to put a texture on a flat bar, and then that thing there is the master that you can use to retexture the texturing dies. They're just a round, fuller sort of die there. This is a set of dies for finishing up tapers. This is a real aggressive set of fullering dies, so you want to neck something down, you're running through there. That's just a round die. I don't know, I think I showed you that one. This one, I'm not too sure what I use it for, but basically it might have just been a demonstration or something. I'm not sure what I do with that. Yeah, so that's about what I got there. There's also some other toys I have with it. So I got some air on it. I'm going to put this thing on the tripod now, and I'll give you a little demo. Hang on. Okay, so I wanted to show you just how controllable this thing is. So right now I've got, you can control the amount of pressure on this on these regulators to change them up too, but I'm not going to bother with that. Just the foot throttle works really well for this. So let's say that I was drawing out a piece of round bar or something, and I get down to the short strokes where I want to just try and even, knock down all the little high spots on it. So I've got I can just feather that down. Okay, we got air again. So this is easy to use with a lot of different wedges, spring wedges that I have. This is a set of hacks that cut a piece off. So if I want to cut a bunch of flat bar, you just get that in there and give her a few whacks and part off whatever I need in there. It's also handy when you're finishing something to have a flatter like this. To finish out the flat, make something through the flat again. Flatter. There's things like a hack here that you use to chop stuff up. Make sure you got it going the right way. So I would normally use this under that piece of copper plate that I have here. You've probably seen that done online. And then different sets of ball wedges are pretty good for ornamental work. So you punch a round hole in something, or a round divot. So a few of those. Anyway, there's no end to the different concoctions you can make as far as tooling goes. There's another unit I got that attaches to this that I'm going to set up here now. Okay, so let's say you want to upset the end of a bar and make different shapes on the end of it. So you want to do something like this, right? So you'd upset the end of the bar by heating just the very end of it and pounding back enough material to give yourself a head. There, I've already got material with heads on it. That's why it's easy for me. But anyway, you can make table legs and that sort of business out of things like this. So to work on the end of it, you need something to do that with. So you stand it up in here like so. So basically, you take something that hasn't been rolled up yet, and this goes in. So I've added this stuff here, right? So these are just guys that bring all the work out past the end of the animal here. So that's all this does. You can see this doesn't have any CSA stickers on it at all. Right? So anyway, not the handiest thing in the world. It's been a while since I've done this. So I can just set this head of something, an upset end in here, and I can work on it. I have to set something underneath it. It's not right, but you have to set something underneath it to get the height correct. But then you can do what you want with the top. You can, in this case, use some kind of fancy punch on the end of it to make the end of it, or just a table leg like this would be. Then you just flatten it out, make it round or whatever under here. And once again, you can use whatever top tool you want it on it to do that. So you're going to move stuff around with a ball swedge to flatten it out, and then use your flatter to get it down right in. Anyway, so that's pretty much it, I guess. I don't really have much else to show you on this. Just a matter of getting some experience to use it, figuring out what you want to do with it. It's been very handy for me. Back in the 90s, I made about 1 million different housing stuff for home decor out of it that I used to sell to the store. Made me a fair bit of money. Anyway, so that's the air-powered treadle hammer for you.